Coming up on Valley View News, Monday the 24th was dedicated to the memory of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. Plus, the MLB is thinking about having a designated hitter in both leagues.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Xochitl Hernandez.
And I'm Tyler Ridgel.
The Staples Center held a celebration of life for Kobe and Gianna Bryant and the 7 other people killed in a helicopter crash last month. Only ticket holders were allowed inside. Valley View News reporter Esteban Reynoso was there.
Staples Center had continuously warned fans not to come near the area, but fans are still lining up outside, right across the street from Staples Center at LA Live. Several fans were disappointed when they couldn't get a ticket, but that didn't stop them from coming to Staples Center for 2 reasons.
His daughter, man.
Gotta pay your respects. He's the greatest legend ever.
Danny and Scott Mendoza are lifelong Kobe fans, and even though there were several checkpoints to get through just to get close, that didn't bother them at all.
We were here that Sunday. Everyone said, don't come down. They're blocking it off. We were here, bro. There's no stopping us.
The Mendozas came to Staples Center today empty-handed, but when I asked them what drove them here, they put it simply.
That's what Kobe did, you know, Mamba mentality, bro.
Right, never stop.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Grinding.
Now, all tickets were priced between $24.02 to $224 for each ticket price, depending on where you sit. Now, all that money is going to be donated to the now new named Mamba and Mambacita Foundation. All the proceeds are going to the foundation in honor of Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Reporting outside of Staples Center, I'm Esteban Reynoso for Valley View News.
Vanessa Bryant is allegedly suing the owners of the helicopter that killed her husband, daughter, and 6 others. The lawsuit claims the pilot acted recklessly by going too fast in a heavy fog zone. The pilot, Ara George Zabayan, was disciplined in 2015 for violating flight rules. He went into reduced visibility airspace when he should not have. Bryant wants monetary damages for loss of financial support and funeral expenses for all victims.
A 20-year-old woman and her 18-year-old boyfriend were arrested for the murders of 3 Southland residents. Hemet police say it involved a dispute over rent. The victims were beaten and strangled in their home earlier this week. Authorities were called to the scene by the father of one of the victims. The suspects were tracked down and arrested in Las Vegas.
Mad Mike Hughes was killed in a failed rocket launch last weekend in Barstow, California. The 64-year-old was known for his flat earth conspiracies and homemade rockets. A ladder attached to the launch ramp hit his rocket and caused a disaster. The ladder ripped off a parachute can. The parachute deployed and got caught in the rocket thrust, taking it off course. The steam-powered rocket made an arc in the air before crashing within a minute. It's unclear how high Hughes was in the air. His goal was to reach 5,000 feet. Hughes' followers called him the greatest daredevil this country has ever seen.
If you saw the movie Hidden Figures, then you may remember the unsung hero Katherine Johnson. Johnson was an African-American mathematician who helped calculate the flight paths for early U.S. space missions, including the moon landing. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said Johnson overcame racism and sexism. She was one of the most essential human computers for space travel. NASA recently named the Computational Research Facility after her. She was also given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by former President Barack Obama.
Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute students took their food cravings to a whole new level. They chipped in to buy a one-way airline ticket, which allowed them to pass through TSA at the Albany airport. That gave them access to the closest Chick-fil-A, which is in the airport. The school's cross-country captain held the ticket with no intention of boarding a flight. He instead bought enough Chick-fil-A for 18 other students and bought it outside. He ordered 15 sandwiches, 15 large fries, 156 nuggets, 1 bag of cookies, and a single lemonade.
Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape and sexual assault against 2 women. He's in jail waiting to be sentenced. In all, 8 women testified against Weinstein. 2 were former production assistant Mimi Halei and actress Annabella Sciorra. Starting in 2017, after the emergence of the Me Too movement, a host of women came forward accusing him of abuse of power and sexual assault. The jury heard countless stories of rape and sexual assault in Hollywood. They found Weinstein guilty after 5 days of deliberation.
Former Empire actor Jussie Smollett pled not guilty to restored charges. Chicago wants him tried for allegedly faking a racist and homophobic attack against himself last year. His attorney said the 37-year-old is frustrated by being dragged through this process again. They say refiling of charges violates protections against him, being charged twice for the same crime. Prosecutors say the protections don't apply to him. He wasn't prosecuted last year. Smollett got $20,000 bail. His next court date is March 18th.
2 Colorado snowmobilers escaped disaster when they accidentally triggered an avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center shared a video showing the terrifying incident. Let's take a look. One of the riders is buried by snow while riding up a mountain when an avalanche sweeps down the mountainside. A third person who was snowmobiling with the group was able to get free and alert 2 authorities. 2 snowmobilers were killed last week after triggering an avalanche in the area of Muddy Pass north of Vail.
The public charge rule is now effective. The law lets officials deny green cards to legal immigrants who may use Medicaid, food stamps, or other safety net programs. Immigrant rights groups say the law will drastically limit immigrant visas. 42% of legal immigrants have their green card applications declined.
Democratic presidential frontrunner Bernie Sanders had some kind things to say about former Cuban dictator Fidel Castro. Sanders says it's unfair to say that everything that Castro did was bad. During a CBS 60 Minutes interview, Sanders also said Cuba's literacy and social welfare programs were positives despite the dictatorship. Sanders is running as a progressive with many support from many young people.
A Palo Alto couple that went missing on Valentine's Day was found in the Point Reyes wilderness. They were there for 8 days. 77-year-old Carol Kaparsky and her husband Ian Irwin, 72, were found 100 yards away from a nearby road. They survived by drinking water from a puddle. Both suffered hypothermia, scratches, and bruises. They were taken to Marin County General Hospital.
A charter bus crashed on Interstate 15 in San Diego. 3 passengers were killed, 18 were injured. The bus slid down an embankment, landing on its roof. It happened when the bus driver apparently lost control of the steering wheel in rainy conditions. 3 women died at the scene. Other adults and children were trapped inside the bus. The driver suffered minor injuries and submitted a blood sample. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the crash. Authorities don't suspect drugs or alcohol were involved.
A University of Iowa professor is starting research because he thinks that older people who smoke medical marijuana fall down more. Professor Thorsten Rudroff says it may have to do with THC. That's the main psychoactive ingredient in marijuana that gives the sensation of high. Rudroff says THC also interferes with cognitive skills, which include memory, concentration, and focus. He's looking for volunteers between the ages of 50 and 80 to take part in the study. Every 19 minutes, an older person dies from falling.
A high-selling rapper just dropped his latest sneakers, and they're already sold out. Plus, the 51st NCAACP Image Awards were held last night. Let's get the latest in entertainment news with Amari Martin.
Thank you, Sochu. Travis Scott's new Nike sneakers are sold out. The Cactus Jack SB Dunks dropped Saturday. The shoes are designed with a blue and beige bandana and plaid patterns. They also come in a special edition box that features the Nike SB and Cactus Jack logo. The sneakers were priced at $150. If you want a pair, they'll be available starting February 29th. Since December, the entertainment world has lost big names like Juice WRLD and Kobe Bryant. As the hip-hop community remembers Pop Smoke, Valley View News reporter Omar James gets local reactions to the rapper's sudden death.
For sure, Baraka Jackson, also known as Pop Smoke, died February 19th. Initially, police thought it was a home invasion going deadly. Later, they discovered he was targeted for murder. Jackson is a Brooklyn native. He was in the LA area on business. The popular rapper was 20 years old.
I feel like they should live their own private life because at the end of the day, they have family that love them. And that's why, most of these artists die so young.
Pop Smoke recently burst into the music scene. His feature on Travis Scott's Gotti peaked at number 69 on the Billboard Top 100. His mixtape Meet the Woo 2 peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Top 200. After that, it was believed that Smoke was just getting started.
Artists already move smart, so that was just a rookie mistake, honestly. Anybody who got money gonna know that.
It was believed the alarm system wasn't on when suspects entered the home. After a day of investigating, law enforcement realized it was a premeditated murder, not a home invasion gone wrong. According to reports, there were multiple people inside the home when the shooting occurred. However, Smoke was the only one shot. The Public Policy Institute for California, the PPIC, says Los Angeles has a burglary rate 5 times higher than that of neighboring counties, which is no wonder why police might have thought Smoke was killed in a home invasion gone wrong. Reporting for Valley View News, I'm Omar James.
The PBS program American Masters presents a film on the life of jazz legend Miles Davis.
Music has always been like a curse with me. It's the first thing in my life. Go to bed thinking about it and wake up thinking about it.
Miles Davis's Birth of the Cool was first screened at the Sundance Film Festival last January. It was directed by Stanley Nelson and featured archival footage that elaborates on Davis's career. Born to a wealthy family in Illinois in 1926, Davis played trumpet with Art Blakey, Dizzy Gillespie, and Charlie Parker by the age of 18. He influenced jazz with his compilation album, Birth of the Cool, released in 1957. Davis died in 1991. A celebration of African American excellence took place at the 51st Annual NAACP Image Awards. Blackish star Anthony Anderson hosted. Rapper Lizzo earned Entertainer of the Year. Other winners included U.S. Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis, who was given the Chairman's Award. And Rihanna got the President's Award. It recognizes special achievements in public services. Overall, the awards honored outstanding performances in film, television, music, and literature. That's all for your entertainment news. I'm Amari Martin.
Let's take a look into this week's headlines from the Sundial.
Handy, how's it going?
Thank you, I'm doing great. This week at the Sundial, we're discussing the Afro-Latinx community. Our issue will discuss the Afro-Latinx festival that occurred in Long Beach this past Sunday. Our new issue is available this Wednesday, and make sure to tune in online for new and updated content. That sums it up here at the Sundial. Thank you, and back to you.
More to come on Valley View News. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania are in India. More details ahead.
Chick-fil-A and Cal State Northridge, a match made in heaven for matadors, coming up on Valley View News.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Let me tell you, there's a whole lot to cover from around the world.
That's right. Why don't we go to our Digital Media Center with Sofia Gutierrez? Sophia?
President Donald Trump had one of his biggest rallies yet, and it wasn't in a red state. Trump landed in India on Monday, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted him with a hug. Posters of President Trump and the Prime Minister read, "The dynamic personalities, one momentous occasion." Tens of thousands of people cheered as President Trump praised Indian democracy, Bollywood, and Modi. The president gave a speech to more than 110,000 people at a cricket stadium in Ahmedabad, India. Israeli strikes in Syria and Gaza killed 2 Islamic Jihad fighters. It was in retaliation for rockets fired by the group into Israel. Violence continued throughout the region. An Islamic militant was shot dead while attempting to put a bomb at the fence separating Gaza and Israel. Also, tensions got worse after a graphic video on social media showed an Israeli bulldozer scooping up the body of an alleged fighter. Palestinians who tried to retrieve the body were fired upon. Italy reported its 6th coronavirus death, and at least 219 others have been infected. Authorities imposed quarantines and other restrictions on the country's economic heartland. Schools, universities, and museums were closed. Public and private gatherings were banned. And in Milan, the famed Scala Opera House was closed. The majority of coronavirus infections are concentrated in mainland China, Japan, and South Korea. Italy's outbreak is the biggest outbreak outside of Asia. As elections are taking place in the Dominican Republic, hundreds of people gathered for a protest in Miami on Sunday. The protest came after a systems glitch interrupted municipal elections last week. Dominican Republic officials said the failure was caused by people tampering with the country's electronic voting system. Demonstrations in solidarity with the country have taken place since the system crashed in the Dominican Republic. Quaden Bales, the young Australian with dwarfism who was bullied at school, got some support from some rugby stars. He was invited to walk out with the National Rugby League's Indigenous All-Stars team. The invitation came via a video done by Captain Latrell Mitchell, who told him that they got his back and support him. Earlier in the week, Quaden's mom posted a heartbreaking video online where the 9-year-old said that he wanted to commit suicide because he was bullied so much at school. That's all for international news. Now back to you in the studio.
The 15th annual LA Sports Awards Show was this week in Beverly Hills. Dodgers' Cody Bellinger and Angels' Mike Trout took home the Sportsman of the Year award. Lakers legend and current Clippers executive Jerry West accepted the Executive of the Year award. But in a night to honor the city's brightest stars, it was a fallen one that was on everyone's minds.
Maybe bump my head on the hardwood, and I'd be laying on the ground, and your teammate comes over to help you up off the floor. Kobe would come over to help me up off the floor, but he would check the hardwood first to make sure that the hardwood wasn't damaged from my big head hitting the wood.
Derek Fisher and Robert Horry accepted the award in honor of Bryant and the Lakers organization. Bryant took home the Sportsman of the Year award back in 2008.
The Los Angeles Lakers won a nail-biter last night at home against the Boston Celtics in a potential NBA Finals matchup. Jason Tatum was the star of the night with 41 points scored. Anthony Davis dropped 32 points with 13 rebounds in the Lakers' win. The New Orleans Pelicans defeated the Golden State Warriors last night in the Bay. Rookie sensation Zion Williamson led the way for the Pelicans with 28 points and 7 rebounds. The Portland Trail Blazers made a huge fourth-quarter comeback to defeat the Detroit Pistons at home. C.J. McCollum had a dominant 41-point performance with the help of Carmelo Anthony's 32 points. McCollum also had 12 assists and 9 rebounds in a near triple-double.
The XFL in Week 3 has returned to St. Louis. The Houston Roughnecks continue to have a winning streak. Their victory over Tampa Bay Vipers have kept them undefeated, while the St. Louis Battlehawks won the New York Guardians 29-9 and have moved them up to first place. In second place, we have the DC Defenders, who lost 9-39 against the Los Angeles Wildcats. The Dallas Renegades have managed to bounce back after Landry Jones' first return and were able to take the win to 24-12 against the Seattle Dragons.
For the first time, the world will be able to see an all-girl wrestling tournament. The first girls' state wrestling championship will be this weekend at Hillard-Davidson High School. It is said to have 250 individuals from 97 teams competing. The Ohio State School Athletic Association says that there are 20 states that already hold sanctioned high school girls' championships. There are more than 70 women's varsity programs in college. A senior from the wrestling Beaver Creek High School team is ready to see the sport grow. She says that she usually would do the boys' meets, but now she will have the opportunity to face other girls.
The MLB discussed whether it should have a permanent designated hitter for both leagues. Valley View News reporter Matt Roth has more on the story.
The designated hitter remains a hot topic in baseball. The issue is whether teams should have a permanent designated hitter for college and Major League Baseball games.
I honestly think there should be a DH in the AL and NL because pitchers usually get out anyways, and it just makes them more injury prone.
Some experts believe that there should be a designated hitter required to bat for pitchers in the majors and in college. Pitchers tend to be poor hitters.
Honestly, I think there should be a DH because pitchers are always almost guaranteed outs, and in clutch moments, they're just a momentum killer.
Designated hitters can generate more runs. They tend to keep rallies in an inning going. Pitchers, on the other hand, tend to end rallies. They get to the plate in crucial situations, like when there are 2 outs, then they get out.
I personally don't believe there should be DHs in MLB mainly because since the MLB, these are professional players and they should be well-rounded players, and it wouldn't be fair for outfielders, infielders to all practice batting when have POs never hit. In my opinion, there should not be DHs.
Even though some think designated hitters are better for baseball, several fans believe it's very exciting to watch uncoordinated pitchers bat in games.
It's fun to watch pitchers hit. They're goofy and entertaining.
The NCAA allows pitchers to hit, but it is not required. However, in the National League of the MLB, pitchers are required to bat. This is Matt Roth reporting for Valley View News.
A new study says that having a big breakfast in the morning can actually help you burn more calories through the day. The study, published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, studied a group of healthy young men with normal body fat. They found that men burned twice as many calories when they ate a bigger breakfast than those who ate larger dinners. They also explained the phenomenon by the fact that the amount of energy needed to process a meal is higher in the morning than at night.
The government approved a drug to treat high cholesterol by lowering it that functions differently than statins. Bempedoic acid, which will commercially be known as Nexletol, is a once-a-day oral. According to studies, this new drug can reduce low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, which is also known as the bad cholesterol that provokes heart problems. Even though this new medication was approved by the FDA, it is still being studied to see if it can lower the risk of stroke and heart attack in patients who can't tolerate statins. A 2017 study estimated that more than 1 in 5 Americans between the ages of 40 and 75 take a statin. Some people, on the other hand, can't take a high dose of statin because they experience side effects, and that is when Nexletol comes in handy.
An astonishing 105 children have died from the flu, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This is the second highest number since the CDC started keeping data back in 2004. Children are being way more affected than older adults. Infectious disease specialist at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, Dr. William Schaffner, said that the flu numbers might be because of influenza B, which is common in younger children. Coming up on Valley View News, Costco Connection magazine is America's 4th largest magazine.
Also, Facebook announced voice recognition. Stay with us.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
Here's Valley View's Brittany Smith with social media and tech.
The Dow has gone down worldwide, 1,000 points, making its worst day in 2 years as coronavirus fears spike. This happened after the number of coronavirus cases in Italy and South Korea rose. South Korea's Kospi index went down nearly 3.9%, and Italy's went down 5.4% after 200 people contracted the virus, leading to 6 deaths. There's been a significant reduction of worldwide goods and services in the global economy. The World Health Organization is now preparing in case of pandemic. The deadly coronavirus has had a lasting effect on the world. The virus has been a global issue, and it's been a discriminatory issue as the death toll continues to rise.
Our enemy is the coronavirus. It's not the Chinese. So don't stay away from Chinese community.
As a realtor, I've seen people very reluctant to show homes to people of Asian descent. They oftentimes ask me, are they fresh from China?
Alongside the devastating toll it's had on the Chinese economy, the coronavirus has impacted the auto, tech, energy, and tourism industries. Apple lost $34 billion off its market value overnight and says the hit on supply chains has been a major issue. The effects are also felt by small businesses around the world. A fishing industry in Western Australia lost 90% of its business. A hair shop in London that sells hair products had 90% of its products coming from China. Other factories like fabric mills, trucking, and more are all being affected by the virus as well. Costco's Connection is America's 4th biggest magazine. Executive members of Costco receive the magazine for free every month, and it features exclusive offers for food, travel, auto services, electronics, health, lifestyle, and more. The Connection is Costco's strategy to stand out against Walmart and Amazon. They circulate over 14 million copies per month and is available for non-members online for free. Costco says they publish the magazine to give their members a sense of belonging to the store and to let them know what's new and exciting. The connection is so well known, it's been featured on shows like Family Guy and Jimmy Kimmel Live. If you're looking to make some money online, Facebook may just have the solution for you. The social media platform announced last week that they will offer volunteers to pay for their voice recordings in an effort to improve its voice recognition technology. Eligible users will need to record themselves saying the phrase, "Hey Portal," which is the new camera-equipped home device, followed by the first name of one of their Facebook friends. The process can be repeated up to 10 times, which will get you 1,000 points, or an equivalent of $5 that will be transferred to your PayPal account. Recyclers are now turning in their collected recycling items for some extra bucks. Valley View News reporter Carissa Preciado has more on the story.
It's a method people are using for a purpose.
A lot of people recycle because they want to help the earth, but a lot of people do it to get money so they can pay bills or, do other stuff.
I don't have any money, so what am I gonna do? Oh, I got some recyclables.
Mark Johnson has been recycling for 20 years. He says he used to give his recyclables to neighbors and stopped giving them away after he found some prosperity in recycling.
Hard as it is to make it nowadays, you need every penny. You can't just throw it away.
A side hustle that has many dropping off loads of plastics and cans.
Probably since we were very young, like since 2010, I guess, when that whole reduce, recycle thing came out.
Albert Mendez fills many recycling containers. He says his family and he started recycling after they became more educated about keeping the earth clean.
Kind of more like a side thing, like a hobby, I guess. Just because, like, when we have parties and stuff, we just collect so we could get like some type of profit off of it.
Recycler Maria Gonzalez says she's been recycling for 6 years. She goes to the recycling center once a month. She says people who recycle benefit a lot from it.
That's what I use it for, to buy the stuff that we need for the home. Also, I don't throw it away in the streets because it's not good for the environment.
From the moment we got here, people have been coming in and out from this center, dropping off bags just like this one, all to make the extra cash. In Panorama City for Valley View News, I'm Carissa Preciado.
That's it for your social media and tech news. I'm Brittany Smith. Back to you.
Thank you, Brittany. A young woman, Juliana Featherman, has created an app useful for those who want to make a special kind of friend. Featherman was inspired to create this app when her younger brother Michael had a hard time making friends. Michael was diagnosed with ADHD and autism as a child. The app, called Making Authentic Friendships, is created to serve people with different special needs to message, network, and have fun. Users can create avatars, chat, and find friends on an interactive map. MAF users are spanning to 35 states and 12 countries on 5 continents. That's all for us at Valley View News. Thank you for watching. I'm Xochitl Hernandez.
And I'm Tyler Ridgel. For news any time of day, go to our website sundial.csun.edu. See you next week.